Welcome to another episode of Can You Reach That?
Can you reach that?
What's going on with you, man?
Yo, so I got hit up. A little correction that we need to make. Something we said earlier. We were talking about summertime in the LBC.
Indeed.
We made the mistake of saying that it was the LBC crew that did that song.
Did we?
Yeah.
We got caught up in the moment.
I feel.
I know who made the song.
I feel embarrassed because Dub Shack is the one that did summertime in the LBC.
Right.
Yeah, but for some reason,
and we've mentioned Dub Shack on the show on other occasions.
we have. But for some reason, I think we were stuck. Well, I was stuck on LBC crew because I was thinking of Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I was thinking of
Indeed.
Somebody somewhere, best beware my crew. Great song.
Dub Shack.
Dub Shack.
Hey, shouts to Dub Shack, man. I actually met them a couple years back, more than a couple years back. But we actually did a little collabo with Bo Rock.
Word.
So yeah.
Where's the track? YouTube? Can I find it on?
It didn't release because unfortunately, man, rest in peace, Prof. My group member Prof passed. So we didn't get to
finish it. Yeah.
But I still have it. Bo Rock put it down.
That's dope.
But yeah, and rest in peace to C Knight, man, because I know Dub Shack. Shout out again.
Yeah.
He passed a couple years ago as well. So
that was the soundtrack of the summer right there, man.
Oh man, you couldn't go anywhere. I mean, even every summer now, it's in rotation as far as I'm concerned. So
those are my two hot summer songs: "Summertime in the LBC" and then "Summertime."
Yeah.
From Fresh Prince.
Summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, Summertime in LBC, man. I remember when that came out. Like, I don't think there was a time you couldn't turn on the radio and it wasn't playing.
Nah, for real. That was definitely.
If it wasn't on when you turned on the radio, it was the next song up.
Yeah. It was in heavy rotation. It was in heavy rotation back then.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, good time. Great time in music. Great time in music.
Can you reach that?
You see that?
Let's talk about it. Be that.
Believe that.
Let the people know that we see that.
And what they want to know.
Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Now you're home. Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Cool.
Reach that?
Can you reach that?
Can you reach?
So, I was thinking about it the other day. The Hollywood Walk of Fame. They were talking about some people who are potential star recipients.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, who do you have anybody in mind that you think deserves a star? And let's talk about, just to narrow the thought process. Let's talk about like hip hop acts, right? Because I think there's probably less hip hop artists that have stars than anything else. I know Dre got his around, I think it was like March or April last year.
Yeah.
2024. So I was just curious, what is there anybody you think is deserving or overdue for a star?
I mean,
for a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
It's crazy. Like, there's so many names that are swimming through my head right now. If there is anybody that's deserving of it, I feel like it's the early pioneers of hip hop. Because I do feel like as of right now, I feel like a lot of '90s artists have been getting stars lately. Like, I know Snoop got a star.
Right. M got a star.
Pretty
Dre.
sure Queen Latifah has a star.
And I think Cube got a star.
Yeah. So, kudos that they're reaching back to the '90s, but I feel like we should go back even further. Like, does Rakim have a star?
Yeah.
Like
Furious 5. I mean,
yeah, like all the pioneers.
Sugar Hill Gang. And that's the thing too, is like, I don't know, to be honest with you, I mean, there's a lot of stars and I don't know everybody that has a star.
Yeah.
So I mean, we might be mentioning people who actually already have stars and I'm just not completely aware.
Right.
But no, I agree. Like some of the earlier ones. Is there any that are more recent that you think? And by recent, I don't mean like, because if you just came out in the last 10 years, you're not there yet, as far as I'm concerned. It's got to be still a little bit. So I'm still thinking like 90s, maybe 2000s.
First name that comes to mind, I think Ja Rule should have a star. Unpopular opinion, but I think Ja Rule should have a star. Like, he was pretty hot outside of 50 Cent ending his career. Like, he was the next thing.
So I feel like when you talk about the Dre's and the touch that he had on hip hop across the board.
Wow, Dre used to touch hip hop.
And Ice Cube with not only the NWA, but the solo career, the acting career, the producing career, all that.
Yeah.
The huge catalog of Snoop. Again, going back to not just music, but also, hosting events, DJing, acting, producing, everything
Right.
else. When I compare that to a Ja Rule, and this isn't taking too much out of his pocket, but I don't see the comparison. Like I know he had a point in time where he had some popular music, he had some songs, but was it enough? Was it a big enough catalog? And did he do anything beyond that created this broad, like, okay, this is an icon? So when I compare that to the people who have had stars, who are either musicians, actors, whatever, that have a broad blanket of a resume,
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I get that, and I'm sure a lot of people don't. I'm sure a lot of people won't agree with that.
I'll agree with you that he was definitely like. I get it. The rift between him and 50, split public opinion. But you can't deny that for a couple of years there he was
on top.
He had the singles.
His name was in conversations with Jay-Z.
But was that
Eminem
enough? Like
I think
Jay-Z, I would say because that catalog is tremendous. He's got influence in other areas of entertainment that aren't just
it's not just rap. Yeah.
So I feel like he's got the resume. I feel like a Beyonce would have the resume. I feel like there's a lot of artists. Wayne has the resume. When I think about those kind of artists, and then you throw Ja Rule in there, and again, this isn't taken away from Ja Rule.
You don't see it.
The resume's not there, in my opinion. The resume's not there, and I'm not saying his resume is trash. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like,
I guess
it's not lengthy enough.
I can argue. I hear that point. It's not lengthy enough, but like you could say the same about Tupac. But granted, their music stopped for different reasons.
You could say it about Tupac in the sense that it was short. It was short-lived, right? Because he was obviously brought to an unfortunate, timely demise.
But it was very impactful.
But it was not only was it impactful, he still had a catalog. He had stuff, because I don't know if you heard, but they working on potentially a new Tupac album with a lot of his unreleased, because he recorded a lot.
Man.
But he also had the acting and everything else. He was doing. He branched out
into other stuff.
So
I get that.
Even in his short time, his resume longer than Ja Rule's.
True. But at the same time, like, you can't, for me, like, I feel like you can't have a conversation. If we're talking early 2000s rap, you can't have a conversation without mentioning Ja Rule's name.
I agree.
Without mentioning
But
Irv
we're talking
Gotti.
about Hollywood Rock of Fame.
Without mentioning, how many number ones did he, during his short stint, how many number ones did he have?
Don't know. But, like I said, he had some number ones and some music, but did he have... He had
some acting chops. He wasn't Fast and Furious. If you remember. I guess you don't remember.
I remember, but was he a main character?
He was not a main character, no.
Did he hold a movie down?
I don't know.
So, and that's my thing, is like Pac had leading roles. Gridlocked. Poetic Justice.
He did.
Above the Rim. I mean, he had, and apparently Baby Boy was written for him.
So
that was supposed to be his part.
I still think he deserves one.
So, fair opinion.
But that's just me.
Fair
I think
opinion.
let me know if you agree.
You're wrong. But yeah,
that Ja Rule should have a star on the Walk of Fame. Especially after his Fire Festival.
Right.
That was a huge hit.
Right. I'm sure it was a huge hit.
That was just poor execution. Great concept, but poor execution.
Putting Ja Rule aside, who else?
Damn, another one.
So if
everybody I pick, I'm gonna pick some obscure people.
So hold on. Let me fire off some names, and you tell me yay or nay.
Okay.
So let's go. Swiss Beats.
Yeah.
Busta.
Yeah.
Redman.
Yeah.
The Wu-Tang as a whole.
Yeah. Like everybody, I mean, but again, like based on your description before of more than just music.
It doesn't have to necessarily be more than just music.
I know, but
Music could be
the names that you're dropping, you specifically mentioned a Dr. Dre, a Jay-Z,
sure.
a Beyonce, a Snoop Dogg, who have
lengthy
done
resumes though.
who have been in the entertainment industry for decades now,
For sure.
if you will, who have been relevant over multiple decades.
For sure. Okay, I got one for you.
Then-
LL Cool J. Does he have
I'm
one?
pretty sure he has a star.
Okay, he should.
But
have one. He
again,
better
so
have
then, but then that almost seems like it's just a longevity thing as to what, like, that because they've been continuously in the spotlight doing something, they deserve a star on the
So
Walk of Fame.
if you've released 20 albums, but only like the first 5 were relevant, I'm not necessarily speaking on that. I'm speaking on if your catalog is lengthy and each album had a top hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a guy like Busta,
Yeah.
he has that. Now, does he venture off into doing a lot of acting or other stuff? No. He stays in a lane of music and he's fantastic at it.
He's had some acting roles though.
Oh no,
not like mainstream.
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
no,
but,
I'm not saying he doesn't act, but I'm saying like as far when you compare.
Yeah.
But as far as what Busta is he's like predominantly, he's in the music and his resume is very lengthy, and he's always had something come out of each album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And for me, I guess I look at it more of a impactful.
Right.
Like if there was any point that there was an impact on the industry, like I feel like they deserve some type of recognition. Like an MC Hammer, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hammer outside of
Doesn't MC Hammer have a star?
he probably does. I hope that he does.
I mean, like I said, I don't know everybody who has a star.
I hope
I'm
that he
just
does.
speculating.
But again, that goes back to the point that I was trying to make before. Like his career was short-lived primarily because of, the shit that he got into financially. Him trying to do too much for people.
Right.
He just, whoever was in his ear handling his finances just did him dirty. Unfortunately.
Indeed.
Had that not happened, had he still been able to maintain his fortune and still been able to do all the stuff that he was trying to do, because it wasn't just about the music, it wasn't just about the money for him. He was actually trying to help people behind the scenes and trying to bring his city up and trying to improve his city and do all of that stuff. I feel like his name should carry a lot more weight than it does right now. I feel like he would have been able to do a lot more. And, it's a little disappointing that he hasn't been able to, like, get back to that point to where, like, his name is still relevant right now. Because I really think he had something.
Right.
It's just unfortunate. Too Short should have a star if he doesn't.
40
should definitely have a star, It's
so
like,
let's flip it a little bit, and since we're talking about the opposite end of that argument, 50 Cent.
50 Cent deserves a star. I want to say he has a star.
Does he?
I think
He should.
so.
I mean,
feel like I've seen,
aside
but
from the musical impact, I mean, obviously, with him producing these monstrous hits, these shows, his production company is huge.
Yeah.
And you got to appreciate his trolling as well.
Definitely. He's definitely good at what he does.
I think 50 is definitely has a resume that probably exceeds most.
But this also is one of the reasons why I think there needs to be a Black-owned, Black-led institution that has which I mentioned before, like a hip hop Hall of Fame. Like I know there is a hip hop museum and all kinds of stuff like that.
I just wish that as a collective, I mean, if you're gonna have things like the Hollywood Walk of Fame or things that have accolades, I wish it was more inclusive. I wish it was more, and I get it.
It should be.
I get it when a lot of these things were started, what the times were, and I get that. But
and that still carries over.
And it's just stupid. Like if you have, so like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I get it. There's hip hop artists in there, and I get that there's certain people that don't like the fact that there's hip hop artists in there.
Right. And
I've heard varying arguments. I've heard people that don't like it because it's not rock and roll, and it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I've heard other people say that they just they don't want hip hop. Period. But my thing is if there's a hip hop Rock of Fame, which is their Hall of Fame, then there should be a hip hop Hall of Fame, or whatever
independent.
You want to call it. Yeah, there could be a blues Hall of Fame. There should just be one for every genre.
For every genre.
At that point, because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has put people in there that aren't rock and roll, but also aren't hip hop, and nobody says anything.
Right.
So,
I just look at it. I look at it.
At the very least, why don't they just call it like the
Music Hall of Fame.
Music Hall of Fame and just have everything in there? You can categorize it. But
I mean,
have it all in there.
at this point in time, it makes sense to do that now because music has grown to be the over-encompassing influence that it is across the world.
For sure.
And hip hop having its own specific Hall of Fame, I think, is necessary because of the impact and the influence of hip hop across the world, not just in this country, across the world. You know, like there's influence.
Oh, 100%.
Every crevice and corner of the world that has access to internet,
right? 100%
knows hip hop.
100%.
When you look at certain, I've seen clips of documentaries in Japan where the influence of the music of the culture from America,
the clothing, the style,
the cholo,
everything.
They got the cholo vibe out there.
Right.
They're doing the hip hop dances. Like they see it, they idolize it, they epitomize it. They're like, yeah, we want to live this lifestyle. Like we're a part of this. We want to be a part of this. Like it's so dope, you know. So just the way I see it, like you said, you know, like there are these institutions that are there. That we have the Grammys, we have the Oscars, we have the Tonys, we have all this stuff that's out there. And, you know, every now and then people feel some kind of way because they think that this individual should have gotten it and they didn't. And it's like,
right.
That's the powers that be. That's the way the system was built. The system was always built to highlight specific people that they felt needed that attention or needed those accolades while throwing shade on other people that they don't think deserve it. Like, I know there are a lot of people that were upset that Cowboy Carter picked up a Grammy.
Right.
Because they don't consider that country.
Right.
All right, maybe that's how you feel. I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But, you know, where's the black entity that is giving these artists their accolades, you know? I feel like we need one. You know, maybe there is one out there, but it's not to a big enough, because don't get me wrong, it's not to say that there's nothing out there.
Right.
Because we have the BET Awards, you know? Like that is an award show that recognizes
100%
black entertainers, black artists, and everything like that. But it's not black led.
And not just that, but it should be more mainstream. It shouldn't have to be tucked away on a I mean, I know nowadays channels don't matter because everything's streamed.
Kind of streaming, yeah.
But like, it should be more mainstream if that makes sense. I mean, it shouldn't have to be tucked away on a channel, on a cable channel or something like that. Even back when we were all watching cable,
yeah,
it should be mainstream. Why isn't it on just broadcast television? Period.
And you know, there's a lot of reasons that feed into that I'm trying to not dig into, but at the same time, like I just think it would be nice because like there is no in order to own your story, in order to tell your story, you have to be the person that is in charge of telling your story.
Right.
If you're not, then perfect example, Kendrick playing the Super Bowl.
Right.
Had he not been the person that he is, he wouldn't have done Not Like Us. He would have listened to what they said.
Right.
I don't want any smoke, so I don't want to get in any trouble, so I'm just going to not do the song.
Right. I mean, he could have easily, you know, we can get into that deeper too, but he could have easily brought out, 4 or 5 different other artists, done some features, done some montaging up like that.
And just turned it into like the typical Super Bowl show that everybody was expecting to see. But he was like, nah, I got a message.
I like the fact that it wasn't insanely full of feature to a certain degree. I mean, I know some people probably maybe expected some.
Yeah.
I will say I was actually a little bit hopeful that he was going to do Poetic Justice since the song features Drake.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been a great way to squash the beef.
So
after everything's said and done,
for
they come
me, it
together.
wasn't even necessarily like bring Drake out. It wasn't even that. It was
just do the song to
do it just as a slight, I guess.
Yeah.
But just I thought it would have been a creative move as well.
Yeah.
But in watching what he did, it wasn't needed. He put together a solid show.
He did. It was a good show. Great songs, but again, mostly off the new album.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
And that's smart, right? You're promoting your new album.
Album of the year, yeah.
Yeah, you're promoting.
That's great.
So done. So
yeah, but I mean, I would definitely just like to see, like, in order to control your narrative, like you have to be responsible for it, and until there's a black owner at BET, we don't control the narrative.
So just turning that corner and just kind of relating it to the stars, Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott, I believe she has a star.
I'm pretty sure she has a star.
But talk about influential. I mean, I feel like just her style and just coming out. She, I know she had a group. Obviously, she had her group before she became Missy Elliott
back in the day. Yeah.
And once she started collabing with Timbaland and them, it just. I feel like her style and her creativity just stands out.
Yeah.
And definitely needs to be. And I believe she does have a star.
I'm pretty sure she does. If she doesn't, she needs one. But I'm pretty sure she has a star.
But I know she was looked at a certain type of way by the powers that be, if you will.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't the,
she didn't fit the mold.
The model visual of what they want to see as a pop star, rock star, rap star, whatever.
Yeah.
She didn't fit that industry mold. But I love the fact that she embraced her look, her style, and she just came with it, man. Her creativity is damn near unmatched.
And I think that's what led to her doing what she did. Like the first video, Can't Stand the Rain, her coming out with this
Just inflated.
This unique style, this thing that nobody has seen before. It's not your typical, pretty model chick, skinny girl type of thing. Like we're not doing the beauty pageant thing up here. It's like, nah, we're wearing trash bags and crazy glasses and dancing in the rain and doing all the stuff that we hadn't really seen before. I feel like that was a big middle finger to the industry. Like, you guys are telling me that I shouldn't be. Basically, everybody's telling her she doesn't have main character energy.
Right.
No, you stick behind the scenes. You keep making these beats. You keep writing these songs for other people, but we're not really interested in you being in the front.
Yep.
And she was like, yeah, I don't. She did that for a while. Matter of fact, going back to, I want to say it was early 90s, Raven Simone had put out an album. She had a song like That's What Little Girls Are Made Of or something like that.
I vaguely remember when she was like young, right? Like
young, maybe 5 or 6.
Like, yeah. I remember
super young.
Yeah, I remember there was like a push because she grew in popularity on the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
And I remember there was kind of a push to like use her as some sort of.
Well, of course, because, kid rappers were all the rave, Jermaine Dupri putting Crisscross on.
Yeah.
Going a little earlier before that, if you remember The Boys.
The Boys.
That singing group, So there was always the younger you can get, the Bow Wows, for example.
Right.
Bow Wow started out really young.
Another Bad Creation.
So, of course, the industry is going to try to strike whatever's hot, take advantage and do everything like that. But in that song, there was a little excerpt, a female rapping, a little, I don't know what you want to call it. Whatever, there was a female rapping there. When you look at the video, there was this light-skinned, skinny chick that they showed, kind of like Milli Vanilli style. It was actually Missy Elliott that voiced that rap.
Oh, they used Missy's vocals. And oh, wow.
But they used another chick to lip sync her part.
I wasn't up on the Raven Simone, so I didn't see that. I have to go look at that.
Some Milli Vanilli shit.
So they basically told her she can't be in the video.
Actually, I don't even think they told her. I think she found out after the fact. I think they just shot the video, and then somehow it came across to her. Yeah, and she was like, well, I didn't even know they were shooting the video. And then basically it comes out, you're not really the demographic that we're looking for.
They had this project. They decided to do a video. They hire a stand-in to lip sync vocals.
And they don't even tell her.
They shoot the video, and they put the video out there, and then Missy finds out, questions it, and they tell her, oh, it's because you didn't fit the mold. So she didn't know that it was out until she saw it.
I mean, I don't know if it was that far in advance, but she didn't know it was out when they were filming it.
Still, like,
yeah, she found out after it was already filmed. That's when she found out. I don't know if she ended up seeing it, and that's how she found out. But it wasn't until after they were done shooting and everything that she found out.
Damn,
that they were filming it.
That's messed up.
But I mean, that's not how many times have they done that? CNC Music Factory.
Right.
They did that to the chick that was singing that song.
Right. Didn't they do that to Kelly Price?
I want to say they did it to Kelly Price too.
I thought I read something where Kelly Price did some vocals for something, and they used it with somebody else, and then Kelly Price ended up coming out on her own.
Because they don't have the look,
So Kelly Price had a voice, bro.
She did. She had a great voice. I loved her voice.
So that's crazy though, man. I didn't know that about the Raven Simone video. That's nuts.
Yeah. But
shout out to Missy, man. Talented as all.
For real. She's been around for a minute, and she doesn't, again, like the mainstream, I appreciate the mainstream for what they do.
Right.
But because the mainstream doesn't agree they're going to shelf some shit. They're going to throw some shade to some shit. They're
Yeah.
going to put some shit in a corner that, you know what, you may think you're all of this, but we don't. So we're just not even we're going to do whatever we can to make you not even want to participate anymore and just push you out.
Wow.
So it's like, in the absence of an entity that is advocating for these artists, such as a Black-led and Black-owned hip-hop music awards, a hip-hop Hall of Fame,
Right.
then these people are going to continue to get overlooked. All these people who we say, deserve their flowers, who don't get enough accolades, who don't get enough recognition, the Rakim, the Rhapsodies,
Right.
the Heather B's, the Roxanne Shantays. Like,
By the way, I think we mentioned it, but Heather B's on that Redman track, that Cypher track he got on there.
shout out to Redman for putting Heather B on.
Heather B.
Like, there are so many artists who just do not get the recognition that they deserve. Moni Love
Yeah,
Moni Love was dope,
yeah, 100%.
and she just kind of fell off.
When I was doing some music with Mellow Man Ace, he introduced me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so very cool, very cool.
You ever do anything with her?
No, but just introduction, quick chat.
Yeah, that would be dope. Like, I would like, it's nice to see that we have 90s artists still putting out music today.
It's dope, yeah.
The fact that Redman, bringing in Heather B, like, I want to see some more Rakim features. I want to see some Melly Mel features. Like, if they're still out there and kicking and still interested in this art that they've been an integral part of creating.
Like you said, I love it when I see, and this goes across everything. I love it when I see flowers being given while flowers can be accepted, rather than flowers being given when there's nobody there
After
to
the
accept.
fact, yeah.
And I don't know if you saw this, but they're close to concluding the production of Nipsey Hussle's documentary.
Well, no, I missed that.
And that's another one again, he's getting a lot of flowers, and that's cool. It's well deserved. Wish he was here to see those flowers.
To accept, yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a documentary coming out. The soundtrack is supposed to include a lot of unreleased music from him. So you're gonna hear some new Nipsey music.
That'll be good.
Definitely, I think it'll be interesting to see the documentary, because I don't know what it's all gonna touch on.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's gonna touch on his upbringing.
Right.
His family life, his heritage. And
Everything.
then also, I'm sure it's going to touch on what he was doing for that community, man. So,
Yeah. Everything that led him to becoming who he was. And it's interesting, too, his music, his catalog, because his first actual album that came out was Victory Lap. Even though he put out literally 10 years of music prior to that, nothing was like an official album.
Right.
It was all mixtape. It was all underground. It was literally just him putting out music, honing his craft, for the most part, giving it away to the people for free. I know when he did the Crenshaw album, even with the Crenshaw album, he gave that away for free.
Right.
It wasn't the best mix and mastering, but he gave it away for free.
Right.
And then if you wanted to support, you could buy an album.
For sure.
So you can have the actual, properly mixed and mastered one. But like, the approach that he took to putting his music out there and getting his message out there, seeing the evolution of the music from Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 1 to Victory Lap.
Right.
Like, him literally being in the streets, talking to the streets.
Yeah.
This is who I am. This is who we are. This is what we do.
I mean, he was still right there, like the shopping center. He was trying to like help people out.
Trying to build it back up.
Yeah. So
trying to own the block.
I heard they're converting that into like a youth center kind of thing where kids can go, and they're going to build some studios in there, teach them how to record, teach them how to mix, master, all produce. I think that's dope.
It is.
That's dope.
Shout out to Black Sam for the marathon continues.
Yeah.
And he picked up that baton and he's running with it.
I think that's super dope that's going to get people in there, and because there's a lot of people in places that are very creative, and I'm not even just talking music. I'm talking in general.
In general, yeah.
They're very talented. They're very smart. They're very intelligent. And they don't have the means to get that next foot forward to show their talents and skills to the world.
Right.
And any little stepping stone you can get
Helps.
push that out and to help, especially young people.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, man. I love seeing that. I love the fact that they're gonna show kids like, hey, and it's not just music. They're gonna have other stuff there, but I love the fact that they're like, hey, you like this music? Okay, cool. Let me show you how to make these beats. Let me show you how to count.
Right.
Let me show you how to do these counts. Let me show you how to count bars, measures. Let me
Yeah.
show you what notes are, what key it's in, and you don't want you want to just write music. You want to rap. You want to sing. Let me show you how to record.
How to do all
this.
of
Let me
that
show you how to
stuff.
mix it.
Yeah.
Let me show you how to layer this. It's dope because
It really is.
when you start them that young and it's something that they're really into, you might start off with 50 of them and it narrows down to 2 that they really run with it. That's 2 more.
But those 2,
that's 2 more.
that's an opportunity that they may not have had prior.
But then
you
the
know?
other 48 that goes elsewhere, they have that knowledge and they can use that in other fashions to become entrepreneurs or to, you know what I mean?
Not to mention that's also word of mouth right there, because they've been a part of this program. They come across somebody who,
Right.
hey, you know what?
You
Let
should
me
come through here.
let me connect you up with this dude over here. You really interested in this stuff, you know?
And the other side too is again, the ones that maybe don't run with the skills that they learn there, they're going to remember the fact that was there. And in life, they're going to also turn that hand to the younger people as they get older.
Right.
And you want to build that. You want communities
That's how you build a community.
that create that ripple effect where like, okay, I help you, then you help the next and the next and the
Yeah.
next and so on. So, I think it's a dope idea. It's a dope program. I'm glad they're doing something, and that's not just that corner ain't gonna just sit there. It's gonna
Yeah.
be something good.
Because it's definitely, I mean, an active corner, you know? Like
Right.
Crenshaw and Slauson.
Right.
I used to get my haircut at the Magic Shears way, way, way back in the day. Good times.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago. Anybody remember that Magic Shears? Corner of Crenshaw and Slauson?
Oh yeah, I was there.
That's crazy. I forgot who my barber. That's back when I still got haircuts.
Can't say that I have.
That's back when I still got haircuts. I haven't had a haircut in a minute. I don't know if you can tell.
For real?
I gave up that life.
But yeah, man. I mean, it's dope, and I'm looking forward. Like you said, the new music coming out from these artists. I'm looking forward to hearing new music from Nip on that documentary. I mean,
Yeah.
that's dope. Some other new music coming out. I'm sure you heard because we're fans. Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang. Yeah, man. What's it been? Like 10 years since they put an album? Since they got together to do an album?
There was the one copy album that was picked up.
The unreleased, yeah.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. But that was over 10 years ago, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So hopefully, how many seconds have we shaved off from the purchases?
Man, who knows? We gotta tap in on that counter. Let's see. I mean, at this point, I don't think it matters. Homeboy was out there passing out copies to any and everybody.
Right.
Completely ruined the exclusivity of
downloaded on Napster
of that music. Yeah, man. Are they still up? Get some LimeWire real quick.
But no, but Wu-Tang come with a new album. I think that's, man, I'm ready for it. Like, especially with Redman dropping his album, honorary Wu-Tang member, but hearing Meth go in on that, I'm just like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That'll be dope.
Yeah, like, I mean, Wu-Tang is just so, I love the fact that every member has its own style, distinctive style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've been a huge fan of that forever.
Yeah.
So when they do their solo albums, you get that style, and it's dope. And you're gonna get other Wu features. When you get the group album, you just get this canvas
Yeah.
that's just unmatched.
A myriad of different styles and sounds and flows and cadences and lyrical content. Like it's.
And the one thing I am curious, do they have any prior ODB recordings that they're going to implement so we get some ODB music, or will it be a Sun, or will it be both?
Right.
Because it could be both.
Right.
But it would be fire if they had some unreleased ODB, lyrics.
Yeah, that they can throw into there. Yeah,
that they can throw on there. I mean,
that'd be dope.
And I feel like I'm sure they do. So
I'm interested in the production because I if I'm not mistaken, they're tapping back in with the guy who originally produced the 36 Chambers.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're going to reach back into that and tap into that, kung fu, samurai swordsman, Xing Shang, Shaolin, if it's gonna have that type of gritty, grimy feel to it, or if it's gonna be a more updated sound.
I hope it's a mixture of both. I hope it's genuinely Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
hope it's genuinely Wu-Tang, and the
Put some Wu-Tang on some bubblegum beats.
the thing is the thing is even though they've had their own style, you've watched they've always been able to sort of evolve
Yeah.
without stepping outside and trying to mimic.
Yeah.
So I don't foresee them like trying to adapt to the new school way, but I do see them evolving.
Yeah.
I do see. I mean,
I've seen a couple clips of Method Man trying out some different flows.
oh yeah. I mean, Meth. So his cadence, his voice, is just so distinct,
Yeah.
and he's got varying rhyme patterns, but he always gets creative based on the beat, and I love.
Yeah.
That's what and we've talked about this, man. I miss, and I'm not trying to say that he's the only one in that, because Ghostface, You God, RZA, they all have their own way, their own voices, their own way of cadencing on tracks. I'm just singling out Meth right now just because, like you said, there's been a lot of videos of him, little clips of him freestyling, and
Yeah.
but they all have got a way of adhering to the beat. When the beat comes on, you can tell this was written for this beat, and even if it was written before the beat, it was modified to ride the beat, so their voices become an instrument on the song.
Right.
That's what I miss. And I'm not taking away from a lot of new rappers. Not all of it's my cup of tea, but I feel like there's about 4 or 5 different rhyme patterns that just get recycled.
Yeah.
It's like they found a catchy, rhythmic pattern, and they put it on every beat.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm just like, you sound like this other song, that you just, so if you listen to an album and you're hearing the same rhyme patterns, you're kind of,
Yeah. You're gonna regurgitate the same stuff.
it blends. But guys like Meth and Ghostface and Raekwon, they know how to just, that freestyle. I know you saw the freestyle where it was Raekwon and Meth and Red. Was it Meth? It was
On the plane or
the Red Bull where they're spinning.
Oh yeah.
They rode the beat. It wasn't like they was like, oh, I got the same pattern that I always do over and over and over. They rode the beat.
Yeah. But that also I think ties into the development of an artist back then versus now.
Right.
Like a lot of art, a lot of styles were honed in the bedroom and on the street and in the ciphers.
Right.
There was competition, there was a back and forth, there was, me versus you, there was all of these elements, battles, if you will, that helped you develop as an artist, that helped you develop your style, that helped you develop your uniqueness, because you didn't want to sound like anybody else back in the day.
Right.
You didn't want to come out and be known as a dude that sounds like LL Cool J. You didn't want to come out and be known as a dude that sounds like Busta Rhymes. Like, everybody tried to find their own unique style. And I mean, I'm not out in the streets right now, so I don't really know, but I don't feel like the ciphers go down like they used to.
No.
I don't feel like people are sitting around and freestyling like they used to,
I mean, I'm sure it happens. I'm sure there's places where it happens, but it's not like you said. It's not the same.
Not like it used to be,
It's
because
just-
anybody, I can not interact with anybody. I can sit on YouTube. I can listen to other people
Right.
make music. I can write my own music, and I can put out my own music without ever having to talk to anybody.
And I feel like the ciphers now are just more like, I wrote this 3 weeks ago. What do you think?
yeah, like
As
freestyling.
opposed to competition cipher.
Freestyling doesn't even have the same definition as what it used to have. Like to us,
Freestyle was off the top.
it was off the top. This was not something that was written down as a rap. Now a freestyle, 8 times out of 10, I'm not gonna say across the board, but like 8 times out of 10, a freestyle has been pre-written, and it just hasn't been released yet.
But here's the other side of it. Not only has it been pre-written, but it's been recycled, because there's artists that have used the same quote unquote freestyle on like 25 different radio stations that they visited to promo their album.
Yeah.
And it's like, so every time you're out there and they say, oh, let's drop a freestyle, and you do the same verse, it might be over different beats because the radio station puts on a beat,
Right.
but it's the same verse. It's like, for one, that's not a freestyle to me. That's something that's written. For two, even if you're trying to play it like it wasn't written, you exposed yourself because you didn't use it 17 times in the last week.
Right.
So you're just assuming that, oh, this radio station's in LA and this one's in New York. Nobody's going to know.
Yeah.
They know because it gets put online. So.
And that's no shade to, people that do it that way. It's just different.
And a written is fine. If it's written, it's written. Who cares?
Yeah.
But
if it's hot, it's hot. You can't knock
feel
that.
Like, don't call it a freestyle. Just be like, I'm gonna put up. Oh, I got a verse.
But definitions, just like with everything else,
Change.
evolve over time. Woke doesn't mean now what it used to mean before. Same thing with freestyle. Like it just doesn't mean now what it did before.
Yeah, agreed.
It's crazy.
I mean,
you know who has a dope freestyle?
Who's that?
Mia X.
Mia X. No Limit.
Yes.
No Limit.
No Limit Soldier. I thought I told you. Yeah, I read that they have a I don't know if you want to call it a New Orleans Walk of Fame, New Orleans Hollywood stars or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, her and Master P just got awarded a star on the New Orleans Walk of Fame.
When you think New Orleans, you think No Limit, you think Cash Money. I mean, that's your immediates, you know. And I think No Limit was the pioneer. Cash Money came in after.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm taking away from either side. It's not competition wise. I don't think it's a thing. I think it's just just two different. It's kind of like LA and the Bay. You know,
yeah,
what I mean?
two different styles.
It's both West Coast. It's both styles. It's both But you had No Limit and you had Cash Money, and that was the South. Like that was the South. There was a stretch where you wasn't hearing nothing unless it was from the South.
From those two, yeah.
So,
and again, going back to the mainstream industry, like there always has to be one. Like there can't be two top individuals. They always got to pit somebody against each other. A Brandy versus Monica. It's like, no, they're both great in their own right. Like they can both be queens.
I heard that The Boy was hers though.
Nah, I think. Well, whose when you say hers?
I'm just using pronouns. Just keep the pronouns correct.
Hey, you remember Brown Sugar? The Hip Hop Dalmatians?
Right.
The hoe is mine. Hilarious.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. They definitely tried. And I used to always wonder, was there beef between No Limit and Cash Money? I used to always wonder that because of how certain things were portrayed.
Yeah.
And I come to find out years later, although there was, friendly music competition for the most part, there wasn't no hatred.
There's none.
Them.
It's all manufactured.
So
it's all manufactured by the guys behind the curtains who know nothing about it except we can make money off of this.
Right.
Pulling some strings and like, oh, we need to put this guy against this guy. We can't have two top artists at the same time. Like there can only be one who's going to get knocked off, and it's gift and a curse, because, and I get it because we're kind of going through that right now with, Cole talking about the big three, and then Kendrick is like, nope, it's just me.
Right.
So I get that level of competition, but at the same time, that's not an industry being like, hey, we're going to shelf your music so that his music can shine. And how many times have we seen that happen?
Right.
We've seen that happen way too many times. We've heard too many artists who got screwed over in their contract deal thinking that they're going to get pushed out, and then somebody newer, quote unquote better, happens to come along, and now they've been shelved so this other person can get the light.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy, too, because around that time, like the South was big. There was a point where the South was like
huge.
It was, you had Cash Money, you had No Limit, but you had Scarface. You had artists, you know what I mean? That was just like, Scarface, man, like
from Texas to Florida, dude, like the South.
I want a new Scarface album, man.
Scarface would be dope. Scarface is another person who I don't think gets the accolades that he deserves.
That Tiny Desk performance he did,
great,
powerful,
super great,
powerful. It just shows the extent of his poeticness.
Mm-hmm.
His music is off the chain. Scarface is Scarface.
Yeah.
And the humbleness that this dude has, because when he was interviewed, he was like, I don't even think I think I got one over on people. He was like, what you mean? He was like, you don't think you was good? He was like, nah. But I'm like, that's humbleness.
Yeah.
That's humbleness. He thinks he's not good enough to be in the conversation, and he is in that conversation, and it's not brought up by one person. It's brought up by a collective of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Scarface was tight. That dude,
He was.
great storyteller.
He's got some classics too, you know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that Tiny Desk performance probably one of my top 5. Like, that Tiny Desk performance was just dope. It was powerful.
Yeah, it was really good. He had that track, Smile
Tupac?
with Tupac.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if, I'm not going to say it was my first, but like one of the songs that really got me younger was I Never Seen a Man Cry.
Till I Seen That Man Die.
Like,
Yep.
when I listened to that, because it painted a picture, right?
Yeah, and he's a great storyteller.
Yeah, and when you talk about storytellers, Scarface is like top
Yeah,
3.
he's on that list. Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Scarface is just,
Yeah, he's dope. And there's so many artists out there who are overlooked. Well, especially in today's day and age, everything is such a flash in the pan now. It's like you're hot 1 minute, and then 2 days later, something else comes out, and then it's your old news. Like,
yeah.
everything is so quick right now. There's so much music, entertainment, movies, videos, TV shows, whatever that's coming out. Like, you can't keep up with like, to think about everything that happened in 2024, like, that's a long list. Matter of fact, and of course I can't think of the rapper that did it, the 2024 wrap up. Mad Skills.
Yeah.
The 2024 wrap up.
Right.
Like, the fact that he had the song had to be as long as it was because of everything that went down.
Yeah.
Like, these songs aren't going to get shorter.
All of his, I think he's had some that were longer, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's a yearly tradition, man. Like, and I know there was a part where he said he wasn't going to do it no more. But I'm like, man, like, I know other people have attempted.
Yeah.
But Mad
doesn't have the same.
Mad Skills just has a certain touch to it, man. And I think you talk about people who are slept on. Like, go really listen to some Mad Skills music, man. That dude's bars are there.
Yeah.
Like, when you talk about bars, like, Mad Skills has bars.
Talking about bars, Tech Nine. Again,
Tech Nine has bars.
another one because the mainstream doesn't agree.
Yeah. You know who there's an artist that's part of Strange Music called Joey Cool. I don't know if you heard of Joey Cool.
I've heard of him. I'm not
Joey Cool
like
is
big
dope
into
too.
him.
Like, he's with Tech Nine and them, but like Joey Cool, you know, Chris Calico, like,
yeah.
dude, like
Slaughterhouse. A lot of Slaughterhouse artists. Again, there's just too many that don't get the recognition that I feel like they deserve.
Oh, you talking about like with Joe Budden and them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about Tech Nine. I was like, no, that's Strange Music. Strange.
He wasn't Slaughterhouse. He wasn't on Slaughterhouse.
That's Strange. No, they part of Strange Music.
Tech Nine was never Slaughterhouse.
I mean, maybe he might have been, but I just know
Joke's on me.
Strange Music. But yeah, Joey Cool's dope. Joey Cool's dope.
Yeah. Lyricists, like, if they can't make money, if you're not dancey, catchy,
Right.
they're like, we don't know what to do with. I don't even understand half the things that he's saying.
Yeah.
I need a translator.
Indeed.
I need to take Ebonics 101.
I took that class.
How'd you do?
I passed. See, the thing is I grew up in an area where it was so diverse, and I'm so thankful, even in this time and age, and everything that you see going on. I'm glad I grew up where I grew up, dude, because I feel like some people are so close-minded and so blinded to culture and the world, and let me redefine that, cultures,
Yeah.
because that's just what it is. Like, people don't. They don't I don't know. I don't know how to put it in words. I don't understand how people can just cut an entire population or populations off just because they're not like you. They're not like us. And that's just so retarded to me. Like, sorry to use the R word in that fact.
Oh, not the hard R.
Don't cancel me.
Not the hard R.
But you have to have some sort of mental retardation that's stopping your brain from realizing that, like, we're all just people. You grow up different ways. You might learn different ways of doing things, different way of thinking. But you're all just people. That you should embrace it, enjoy it. It is what it is. Like, culture is beautiful across the world, and you're just blinded by it. You're not even open to even looking at it.
Well, I mean, the irony behind that whole statement, you talking about cultures all over the world, is the desire to take from these cultures all over the world without giving them any recognition.
And that's just it. I don't see a problem in sharing, embracing, even blending cultural tendencies, like
Yeah.
different foods, different styles, celebrations, holidays, things like that. I think everybody should embrace it.
Right.
Just because you're not
A part
part
of
of that group
you should
doesn't mean you can't embrace what they're
Right.
celebrating.
Right.
But you shouldn't take it as if it was yours,
Right.
and then appropriate it a certain type of way or whatever.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Don't take and then not acknowledge, but celebrate collectively.
But
Nothing wrong with collective. I like collective. I grew up collective.
collective is good.
And again, like going back to growing up where we grew up. I love the fact that my neighbors were all different. My classmates were all different. It was just a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't grow up in an area where, to be frank, that it wasn't just a completely white area, a completely white school. I'm glad it wasn't like that because I can't see my mind thinking any other way than it thinks right now.
Yeah.
Which is like people as people and just embrace, love each other.
We all bleed the same blood.
So I feel like there's like species of aliens above Earth looking down, just laughing. Like if they invaded right now, they can invade and there'd be a whole part of the world that would just sit back and watch.
Easily.
As opposed to like the Independence Day,
Everybody
where
coming
everybody
together.
came together.
Yeah.
I feel like, would that actually happen? Would everybody come together to save humanity, or would they go, oh no, let them kill this country off so that now they have nothing to say?
Nope. That's a funny point that you make. I think we actually would come together. Ironically, I feel like we're kind of in the space that we're in right now because we don't have a common enemy. Because if you go back, and I'm not praising any type of terrorist attack or anything like that, but if you go back to 2001, we haven't been as united since.
Right.
But at that point, we had a quote unquote common enemy. Of course, the powers that be told us who that enemy was.
Right. And it was
and we ran with it.
Not necessarily accurate.
But at the same time, we haven't been more united since. It was us versus them instead of us versus each other.
And with the rise of social media and the awareness and the information that's at your fingertips so easily, strength in numbers is key, right?
Very much
Strength
so.
in numbers and unity is key. And the powers that be see division as a necessity, because if they can divide you into many different groups, and it used to be a lot of just like, okay, black and brown and white, racial separation, racial division. Now it's like you've got black, but now you've got black gay, black trans, black this. Then you've got the Mexican this, and then the Jewish this, and then there's so many subcategories to divide.
Yeah.
And people look at that like the more you divide,
the easier it is to control.
You are to control. And if all of those groups just took a step back and be like, oh yeah, they trying to really nah. You know what I mean? Like
it's hard. Again, it's hard to see that because the machine is been operating for many years, and it's very hard to, like you said, take a step back and see the big picture. Because when you really look at it, at the end of the day, all of these groups, these minority factions who are trying to just be seen and be heard. Like I don't want to blend into the background of like black trans, for example. Like yes, we're part of the black community, but don't not recognize the fact that we're also black trans and we have our own struggles.
Right.
Everybody wants to be recognized in their own struggle.
But people would rather separate the black community from the black trans community, from the black gay community, from the black, and just create all these subgroups and then create some sort of controversy between all of them.
Each of them, yeah. So there's just infighting.
Now you've got the entire black community infighting. You've got the entire brown community infighting. And that's what they want.
Which takes the focus off who the real perpetrator is. We used to, in boot camp, there was always a situation where it's the drill instructor who's making you guys do all this horrendous, terrible things or whatever, right? But your focus isn't on what the drill instructor is making you do. Your focus is on the other recruit who's quote unquote not pulling his weight.
Right.
So now the drill instructor is, oh, well, we're still doing this because recruit so-and-so can't get their stuff together. Everybody say, thanks, recruit so-and-so.
So you create that.
So now everybody's focused on him.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything.
Right.
He's fighting the same fight that you're fighting, but because he's not doing it as well as you, Now he became the focal point, and everybody's mad at him.
Yeah, so you're mad at him rather than trying to uplift him and get him better or get him up to speed or just whatever, like, right?
And
encourage.
And recognizing like it's not him that's doing it.
Right. Yeah, you're creating that single division. You're singling him out. It's a great analogy.
Yeah. So,
Everybody has to learn to embrace. If we embrace and we love and and you come together, there's nothing we can't do. I mean, I'm sorry, like don't let those lines be drawn.
Yeah.
Period.
At the very core of it, when you're looking at oppression, all the groups that are being oppressed, I feel like we're all being oppressed by the same faction.
Right.
Everybody oppressor has a lot in common, whether you're Black, Mexican, Asian, female, gay, trans, homosexual, whatever it is, there's a specific demographic who seems to be at the top of all this oppression. And it's not even, I mean, we can make it a race thing, but not even make it a race thing. Like at this point, it's more classism than it is race.
It's class, yeah.
There's still a race faction to it, but it's really becoming a classism issue.
It's a class thing. It just happens that class is
be
mostly a particular race.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's again, and we had a hot take about this. That's again that symbolicness that I saw in Kendrick's
performance.
You had that little circle of the people wearing white, where everybody else, white, red, and blue, were all collapsed. So
but they were the ones that were still left standing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, division will tear you apart. No matter what kind of division it is, it will tear you apart. But if everybody comes together and just realizes that,
hey,
my biggest thing is that people don't, like you said, take a step back and look is, what does someone being gay have any effect on your life? What does somebody being trans have any effect on your life? Why does it bother you so much that in some instances there's a trans person in another state that's on TV that's pissing you off? Like, I don't get that. Like, why does that bother your life so much?
Or like trying to claim that, Disney is trying to push an agenda because they happen to show a same-sex couple in one of their movies. Oh, they're trying to turn my kids gay. Here's a interesting concept for you. Conservative Christian families are the largest producers of gay people in this country.
Right.
So why are they so against it? I'm not saying every person that identifies as gay came from a conservative Christian family, but a lot of them did. So what are you mad about? Why are you so?
And see, that's what I'm saying. That's the lines drawn in the sand, and that's just what it is. But my biggest thing is why does it affect you? And even simplifying it from beyond gay, trans, and the rest of the LGBTQ community. Okay, so race.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Like, what does you being Black have any effect on me? Like, why would that bother me just because your skin is a different color?
Right.
Why does that bother me so much? You know what I mean? Why would that bother anybody so much?
Yeah.
Why are you letting that affect your life? Like,
losing sleep over
like
it.
You're doing the same, whether you're Black, gay, lesbian, whatever. You're just trying to live your life the way you're trying to live your life, and that has no effect on my life.
Yeah.
I could care less. Enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
I don't get it. But
you make it sound so simple.
But yeah, right.
Make it sound so simple.
But the powers that be want to make it seem complicated, and they want to prove to you by any means that no, this line has to be drawn.
Well, because they think they're losing control. They think that because they're becoming the minority as far as numbers are concerned, but not as far as any control is concerned, because they still control everything.
Right.
But because their numbers are dwindling, and I feel like that has a lot to do with the efforts that people are going through right now to turn back the clocks.
Yep.
To take away all of this DEI and everything like that. But I think eventually...
With that said, man, here at CYRT, we had to take care of our DEI, so I'm sorry to let you go.
Oh, Jesus. No. Say it ain't so. Not in my own backyard. Not in my own backyard.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous.
Who'd have thunk? Man, never thought it would affect me.
I mean, we've been friends for like 25, 30 years, but sorry.
It's the new regime, man. We gotta follow suit, right?
You were my DEI friend, and now
that's it. You don't need me anymore.
Ridiculous.
I get it.
Ironically, the number one beneficiary to any DI policies was white women, but we'll save that for another show.
Shut your mouth. What?
I think with that topic said, we've reached it.
Oh man.
So
we have. But I mean, real, I think that if going back to what we were saying before, if we can all take a step back and realize that we actually do have a common enemy.
Right.
Let's stop fighting against each other.
Right.
And I think we can finally
love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor, man.
Let's just go with that. Love thy neighbor.
We can finally reach a point to where we can stop all of this infighting and actually focus on the real problems and not trying to fix the little symptoms of the problems.
I agree. And with that, I now 100% think we've reached that.
I agree.
Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Can You Reach That? Brought to you by Double One Entertainment in Coopersville. Hosted by Tango and Coop. And created and edited by Tim Greenlee and Brandon Adolphus. Music, sound design, and editing by Michael B. That's me. Visual art and graphic design by Jonathan Greenlee. Additional visual design by Timothy Greenlee.